Hey there, Shooby Doodlers. I sent off on eBay and got myself some Letraset 36-point Palace Script. It's only half a sheet. I used to get them double the size. And we used to use this Palace Script a lot for like wedding invitations and posh party invitations, things like that. I'm going to show you how we used to do type back in the paste up days. So this is how we used to do it in the old days. And you'd start off by drawing a line with your blue pencil. Why a blue pencil? Because the blue pencil would not show up on the copy camera, which was a huge great thing. It took up half a room. It's the camera that we used to make litho plates to do all our printing. So we get these little dots lined up and we're going to do wedding. And so what I can do is actually rub down those little marks. And I've got this is actually the one I used to use back in the 70s. And this is my old Letraset. If you look very closely, you can see it actually says Letraset on the Letraset brand, number 2 or something. I can't see. So this is a real original thing. And then we would start rubbing down the letter. And as it sticks and leaves the backing paper, the transparent bit, it changes from black to grey. And you would get to know all its little ways. And if you press too hard, you're going to crack the letters up and you really don't want to do that on these long, thin, little ligature bits. And you lift it up very carefully. And there we have a W. Just zoom in a bit. And now we want to write wedding, okay? So how do we do that? Well, you can bring that in. And in theory, by getting this little block here lined up to that, you've got that absolutely perfectly lined up. Now, instinctively, I want to bring it in a little bit closer. So I might, but then I'm really worried about quite how tall the D is going to be. So it's not going to be as high as that D, so that's okay. So I did an awful lot by eye, and I just feel that is too far away, and I want to bring it in, kern it in a bit, like that. And then I'm following along to make sure that this is sat on the line, and then I'm going to rub that down. And of course, you get a lot of ease, because and all the vowels, but it was, oh no, you see that hasn't quite stuck down. A little bit flaked off. I think we've missed a tiny fraction on there, but no, I can't see it anyway. So you always run out of ease, and now you can see that's not going to fit this. I don't. Well, maybe you have to do it to the previous thing. I can't. It's been a long time. If you do it to the line the previous one up, but you really want them to be touching because it's a script. So you get it close enough so that they're touching. Make sure it's on the line, and then we rub that down again. And then sometimes, of course, having done that, it goes and sticks to the previous letter and pulls some of that off. So it was a very hit and miss kind of thing. And yep, that's just pulled that tiny little bit off, and I'm not going to be able to unstick it, I don't think. What a pain. It was absolutely perfect. And it's the stick on the thing has pulled off that tiny little bit, which was maybe not quite stuck down enough. This, of course, was the moment we got out our ultrafine rotoring pens and tried to draw that line in, usually very unsuccessfully. So you can see here, that's about perfect the way these are joining up, these little marks at the bottom. So I vaguely remember that there used to be more marks than this, and it was a bit more complicated. So I'm going to try putting that down without losing the connector from the previous letter. And then we want to just, oh, that went up very quickly. I was trying to do that more carefully. So yeah, you'd always run out of ease first, which meant and they were quite expensive. You know, I mean, they were like £2 or something like that, £1.99. But that was a lot back in the 70s. And it was an expensive thing to go and buy a sheet of Letraset. And so if you'd run out of ease, you'd be thinking, oh, is it worthwhile buying another sheet? Because are we ever going to use that typeface again? And you know, putting it against the cost of the artwork that you know, how much you're charging them. Oh, there's so many things to think about. Wedding. And here is that this was also another thing. I remember that you could never get these things to join properly because they're not quite that accurate, I don't think. So I'm just doing this by eye. I remember, you know, in Paste Up doing so much by eye in the old days, and just what kind of felt right. Now that's, you see, if this was an absolutely freshly made piece of Letraset from the old days, I mean, I dread to think when this was actually printed and made. So I've lost the little bit of the eye there. I'll just keep going. And there's the G. So you can see we get these extra little bits on there, but I'm trying to get that to connect here. And is it going to lift up the connector from the previous one? I hope not. And there. Oh, I just remembered. Yeah, so one thing we used to do was then get the backing sheet that came with the Letraset, and we would do that to kind of press it down. So maybe that's what I should have been doing. It's been a long time, you know. So, and then sometimes if that went astray, we would try very hard to just connect it up with a little bit like that. And of course I'm losing a whole eye by doing that, and I've lost the bit from the N. So you just can't win, can you? So that's completely lost the whole of it there. And then you'd start doing all sorts of things by that stage, thinking, well, how can I join that up? And so if I was to put another N over the top, does that join up now? Not quite, but I could try and do something like that, and it would almost look right. And of course, as the art worker, you would be obsessing about this. That's lost it again. You'd be getting really, really obsessive about all those little bits that were breaking off. Hey, while I'm doing this, why not click the like and subscribe button and come back again for lots more drawing videos. You see, and you could maybe do something like that. Put that over the top on that one, just to, so you try to be really fancy doing this. And I think I've just dropped a little bit of a comma or something on there. No, that didn't work either. And I think I've lost a little bit down there in the meantime. So it was very, very hit and miss. And you really, really wanted really fresh Letraset. And the older it got, and the more you can see here that, you know, the more you press, you actually start kind of embossing the whole thing. And it just becomes a horrible thing to use by the end. So that's how we used to do it. Then we would paint this little mark out or scratch it out like that. Let's get that bit away. And then come and cut the whole thing out. And then we had this stuff called cow gum, which was this really mucilaginous glue, which sort of took a while to set. And you put this on the back, and then you could put it down and slide it about until you got it in exactly the right position that you wanted on the artwork, and then you were done. Okay, I'm going to try doing this again without talking, just concentrating and rubbing down in between each letter. W, so you'd only get one wedding invitation out of this sheet. It used to be the top half of the sheet was all capitals and the bottom half was lowercase. So, okay, I'm just going to do this. No, it's lost it. I don't know how old this sheet is. I mean, it could be 20 years old or something. It's lost its freshness, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do anything absolutely perfectly there. And then we would try to get really ultra fine rotring pens to join up the dots. That worked quite successfully, but sometimes it would turn into a complete mess. And that's how we used to do it.